Hello, hello, hello. We are live. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I hope you had a good night's sleep if you are in a part of the world where it's the morning, or maybe you've had a good day if you're in a part of the world where it is the afternoon. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. Let's see what we can get into today. We had some numbers come out today. I had the jobless claims come out. It's pulled up here right now. Let's see. We had a consensus for continuing jobless claims of 185. It came out at 181, so we went down a little bit. Okay, this is slightly positive, but the initial jobless claims, so basically people filing for unemployment. So this is the continuing index, so people that had already filed that are still in that situation, and then people that are starting claims. We are at 210, which is, well, basically similar to the consensus. The forecast was 209, which means the labor market is cooling slightly. So we'll see how the market reacts to that. We had that at 8:30. So around, what was 8:30? Around there. All right, so the market pulled back a little bit. All right, we're gonna dig into these charts. Hello, hello, Stuart. Welcome, welcome. Always a pleasure to see you here. Yeah, I am well. We are doing well. The account is steadily growing. We didn't you guys weren't able to see the full trade yesterday, but the trade I took with Steve there turned out to, work out pretty well. It was a great trade. I think it was an 8R return overall, so that's always good. Let's try to find that, and then we're gonna run through these indexes one by one. We're gonna look at gold and oil. And I saw a pretty interesting setup on the British pound. So yesterday we did a presentation on Discord with Daniel, and Daniel showed us great indicator that he made that can help. Sorry, can help our trading, where we can use the correlation of the DXY to determine, where we can enter, where we can exit. And I thought it was a great presentation. We'll definitely be doing a couple more of these in a couple of weeks, and I'll show you the indicator. Everybody who participated got it for free, which was good. So I was lucky enough to get that. But let's quickly look at the trade yesterday. So it was on the Nasdaq, and it's one of my favorite setups, where we had, well, it wasn't a clean trend, right? But we had, market opened around here at 9:30. We had an initial high there. Market got rejected. um, and then I tried to enter a position there, when we hit those pre-market lows, thinking that the reversal we got there, we were going to get earlier, but I was too early, so it got stopped out, took a 1R loss there, no problem at all. And then we waited, it tapped exactly into my level. Oh, actually, no, I think I entered here lower. It was closer to this level. And then we reversed, and we were expecting, a retest of this area where I had my box there. We kind of went a little bit above, and as the trade, the buyer, sorry, were unable to push this higher, we reverted lower. And I think at that same time, we had a news highlight that came out, and that helped the trade a little bit. So I think I could pull up my executions. There we go. Executions were there. So first trade was here. Sorry. We tried to enter long around this area here, which was too early. The long would have worked here, but I got stopped out where the long would have been. And then I started scaling in here, held through all of this because my stop was above the previous high. And then as we broke here, I started adding to actually I clicked the buy button, so I exited the position by accident, but re-added here and then added, and I had 4 contracts on the way down. Took some partials here and here, and then my final exit was here, right at those lows when we wicked and the volume increased. That was a sign for me that okay, we might get a possible reversal. And then if we measure the move from here, from the highs here all the way to here, that was about 200 points. So it was a logical place to take profit because we were at my previous level and we were right above inflection. So exited here. Um, was a nice trade. So yeah, it was good. And Stuart saying, great session with Daniel yesterday. Really interesting. Yes, it was very interesting indeed. We all learned a lot. It was a very good one. I could give a quick preview of the indicator. I have it pulled up here. Let's go to, let's put it on the NQ and let's see. Indicator is here. Let me turn this off. And there it is. Actually, it triggered this morning and we would have been in a great short. Look at how beautiful this would have been. You would have shorted here and then covered right here for a 2-to-1 risk reward short. There was another one here where it would have triggered a long. And what this uses is a cross of between the euro. So if I pull this up here, you use a cross between the euro and the DXY to find your trigger, and then based on that, he uses an ABCD pattern to enter the trade. So I think this is a great tool. I'm definitely gonna start tinkering around and using it to see where I can find great setups and at least use it as a guide for the trading to see what we can do here. All right. Jeremy says, how is it going? Any entries today? Well, no entries so far. We're just gonna analyze the market. We're gonna see where we can enter, where we can exit. We talked about the trade yesterday that ended up working out greatly after the stream. So I will post that in the Discord. I'll do a little analysis on this one, which was a great trade. And then I took another setup, which I'm actually doing a video on. Where is it? Where is it? I think it's, oh yeah, it's over there. Let me take out the execution. So yeah, that one over here was a good setup as well, which is similar. It was a break and retest and a short right here. So we'll do an analysis on that after. So let's get into these charts. Let's zoom back out and let's look at gradually what each index is doing. We'll look at oil, gold, and everything and decide what we're going to trade today, because we are getting very close to passing the challenge. Let me see. I didn't look at where I was at. Fiverr's hub. So this is my hub. So right now, about 2,500 in profit. So 32% consistency. We need to be below 30%. So, we're pretty close to hitting that that target right here. So it's been a steady growth over the past couple of weeks. We're trading with discipline. I have to say that trading with you guys watching is helping the trading a lot, helping with the discipline, not doing anything too stupid. So that's great. All right. Let's see what we can get into. So let's look at the daily on the Qs. So overall, right now, looking slightly bearish. We've been continuously, after we exited this consolidation right here, the trend has been down. I looked at the dollar this morning. It was continuing to rise. So, that's an indication that we might continue to go lower. And with those jobs number being semi-neutral, I don't feel that that's going to give a lot of fire to equities yet. So let's do what we always do. We go into the hourly chart. We're going to find our levels and find our trend and decide what we will trade. So the levels are going to be pretty clear. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. Oh, by the way, Stuart, I have something for you. You were asking the other day. I have found one solution. So if you have your volume profile pulled up, that line here that we couldn't see, you can make it thicker over here. So you can select, the width, and you can change the color here. So I've put my volume profile in blue, um, and that'll help you see it slightly better. So we'll put our point of control for this one here. We'll put our second point of control here. And then I think we have another one. It should probably be over there. Yeah, it's over there down there. So we'll add that here. This way we know the last 3 days point of control was more or less here. And then in terms of levels, what we will be looking at is these low volume nodes over here around the 24 150s. So that's one area of interest for me. We've been talking about how, these we could have a retracement after this huge candle that we had when the news came out. We could have a retracement all the way down to this 75% retracement here at that pocket. So if we get some pops, it's probable that we might get continuation to the downside. But if buyers really step in aggressively, we might revert back up and go retest those higher volume nodes right above here. So we'll see what happens there. First level is here. We have, I'm going to consider these inflection areas my other areas of interest. Maybe here I should pay attention to this area right here. How many points away is this? This is about 100 points. So yeah, we should probably pay attention to this area where it might be some kind of rejection. So we'll see what happens there. Let's turn this off and then let's get a trend going. As usual, I like to trace my trend using the 15-minute and a line chart because it makes things clearer. It makes it easier for me to see the trend, and then I adjust there. So pretty steep. We have a pretty steep downtrend going on this morning. So we will see how that turns out. And then if I line this up, I get it clearly within the 2 wicks. So a great way to get the setup. I think this looks good as a setup. So if this is strong, we might get, a break here. I'll probably wait for a retest. So if we get a break, we hit VWAP maybe, and then we pull back into this area, we might get a continuation higher before we continue lower to the downside if we're going to be bearish, or maybe we're going to move sideways and hit that resistance area, this initial pocket here around the 24 200 with 24 250, and then maybe continue sideways. Or the more bullish case, if we are actually at those bottoms, is, hey, we're going to push higher, pull back, and continue higher throughout the day. So we will see if that happens, but this is the setup I'm looking at the Nasdaq. So just looking at the chat here, we have Jeremits. Welcome back. Welcome back. How much do I risk per trade? So right now on this account, I'm risking 100 in dollar terms. I'm risking $100 per trade, but on average, I'm using 50 points to make 100. Now, depending on the setup, like if it's a really good setup like I had yesterday, I'm averaging 1 or 2 contracts, but yesterday I was able to add up to 4 contracts and still maintain my risk under control. So I was risking 2R instead of 1R, so $200 on the trade, and I think that trade ended up making let's see, 800 bucks. Let's see, yesterday. So we'll put it weekly. Yeah, we made about 830 bucks on that trade yesterday, which was, how many points did we capture? We captured about 103 points. So that's a pretty decent trade. You know, risking, I think I was risking 200. So, that's a 4R return on the trade. So 4 to 1 risk reward, which was pretty good, pretty decent in my opinion. So yeah, we are risking more or less 1 or 2 R on each trade. I hope that helps answer your question. So we're trading micros, we're keeping the risk under control, because you need to think, we have man, this setup is looking interesting. It might be a fake out, but I might just want to take my first stab at it early. Let's see. All right, so we had a low right here. We pulled back, we sweep this low, and then we're going towards the upside. So this is looking interesting. We're just 10 minutes away from the open, so maybe I want to be careful here. But this could be a possible good trade. Let me see. We would be risking, it's a little extended in my opinion, because we would be risking about 80 points. And I'm positive we might get a reaction over there, around just under this pocket. So I won't take this particular trade, but it's looking pretty good, and we might just have a move up. So we'll wait. I'll wait for things to I don't want to anticipate too much, but it's looking pretty good. We have volume coming in. Sorry. So this might be a setup. You have this kind of pullback here. You have this W shaped pattern. So a double bottom right here. It's curling back up. So if this area, this cluster right here, doesn't act as resistance, if we don't get immediate rejection here, this might have some nice follow through for at least a decent move up to this next pocket right here. But I'd rather see what happens on the open and then take my trade. So we'll wait for that, and then it's a little bit too much risk. I would have rather taken it lower right here in this area, maybe after that wick on volume. So we will see. We will see. All right, we have a question from Civil Marek saying, "Do we have real cumulative delta on this platform?" Actually, I'm not sure. I'll look into that for you, but I'm not 100% sure that we have cumulative delta on the platform. So give me a few. Let me run through the indexes, and then I'll look into that for you. We are good to go on the Qs. Let's look at the S&Ps. So similar look on the S&Ps. Let me open my volume profile here. Same more or less area of interest for a rejection. I would say maybe around here. Let's put this in yellow, and then we'll add a level down there where we had our low volume node this morning. So this is where it was bought. And we have kind of an inflection area around those 6590s. So we'll see how we react around here. We have another inflection around up there. And let me delete this. And we will put this inflection around here. So similar scenario here for the ES. We pulled back. Let me see if we can get these lines here. I like to use the line chart to get my trend lines going. So this is not super clean. I don't like to use wicks to wick. I prefer to use a simplified version of the chart and then adjust based on that. It tends to work better for me. So just for those wondering, we have the same W-shaped pattern here. This would be a better entry in terms of risk management, because my stop would, I would be able to have the stop right under the those wicks down there. So it would be better to control the risk. And then our pocket. So we have the first pocket here, but the real interest is around those 66.15s more or less. So it might be better to take the trade on the ES today. So we'll see. We'll see. About 8 minutes until the open. So we'll see what happens on the ES. Let me look at the Dow really quick. So similar action on the Dow. All the indexes are moving in a similar fashion today. So it's just going to be a matter of determining, okay, in terms of risk reward, in terms of strength, what holds the most strength if we want to do kind of buying the dip style trade, kind of a dead cat bounce or something like that. It'll be okay. What do we use to take the trade on? So we'll see. Right now, the ES is looking better. So we'll see what happens there. All right, I have Hello Trader 80 saying, "Hi Dave, how do I add the volume profile? I cannot see it in the indicator list." So first thing you have to check is, are you using the Black Arrow Pro version, or is it Black Arrow 1? There are various versions of Black Arrow, and if you don't have the Pro version, you're not going to have the volume profile. So check that first. And then the second thing you want to do is you go into indicators, more indicators, and then you write volume. And then volume profile is going to be down there. There you go. For whoever was asking for cumulative delta, we can add it right here. So you can look it up, cumulative delta. Who was asking it? Civil Marek. You could find it here and add it in a new window. So it is available on the Black Arrow Pro version. I hope that answers your question. All right, so if you have Black Arrow 1, that's probably why you're not seeing it right now. So you would have to upgrade to the Black Arrow Pro version, but the Black Arrow Pro is going to be subscription based. I can't remember what the fees are. Let me see if I can see it and find it. Give me just 1 second. All right, you found it. Very good. I'm glad you did. So there you go. Black Arrow, Black Arrow. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to find where we can get the versions. Okay, I have a link there that I'm gonna add in the chat, and this is where you can go and check, well, the different black arrow plans for the platform. And remember, guys, if you're liking the stream, remember to like and subscribe. All right, we have about 4 minutes till the open. We have looked at the indexes. Let's take a quick look at oil. Let me look at this on an hourly chart. All right, so we have oil pushing up a little bit, which is probably why we are seeing, the indices move down. So it is to be expected. If we can continue to push up further, we will definitely see those equities continue to move on the opposite side. But on the other hand, if we get a down move, we will have the opposite reaction on the equities. So we took 94 today. So let's see where we can go. I think this little pocket right here, just under 100, will probably be an interesting level. So we'll see what happens there. I'm going to ask you guys to bear with me a second. I am hearing a weird noise right next to me. So I will be right back. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. I heard a noise there that sounded like some sort of fire alarm, so wanted to make sure that everything was on point. Okay, but false alarm, so we're good on that. Now let's take a quick look at gold. So massive, massive sell-off on gold right now. We're seeing some a slight pullback. So, and then after gold, I want to look at the euro with you guys using the indicator. So yeah, we're having a slight pullback here on gold, and this little cluster right here is interesting for me. I definitely want to keep an eye on that and see whether we can which direction we're going to take on this one. Are we going to reverse? Because for my guys who like fair value gaps, we have a gap of fair value around here. So the idea is, okay, we've been clustering here. Are we going to be able to break out of this little consolidation, retest this initial pocket here and continue the move to the downside? Or is it on the contrary are we gonna revert back up? Or maybe we're gonna get some kind of fake out, kind of false move to the upside here and get instantly rejected and continue further down. So interesting scenarios here. So I want to see, after we open, after we start moving, where will we continue? So let's go back to our if. Okay, we're seeing a nasty rejection right here. This is exactly why I did not want to enter the trade early. So it kind of made sense, but I was like, we can get any type of reaction once we open. So this was kind of a fake move to me for now. So we're gonna be patient. We're gonna wait. We'll see what happens. We're seeing some interesting buying right now, some interesting volume. Let's see how we are moving on the flow map. Let me link this. Wait, let me reload this. This has been very glitchy these days. That's why I haven't been using it that much. Let me see. There we go. All right. And then I can't see the heat map, which is an issue. I have to talk to Black Arrow about this because we're seeing the volume bubbles, but we're not seeing the heat map. So I can't really see where the resting limit orders are to kind of, see if what levels make sense. So we're not really going to use the heat map for now, but very interesting volume coming in right now. So we want to see how we react to that. All right, let's take a quick look. Let me see if there are any other news headlines going on right now. I follow First Squawk on Twitter, which it's like a squawk box. So it gives you kind of by the minute news. So let me see. We know that Iran supposedly rejected the US's proposal. So, you know, we want to see what happens there and how we're going to react to these levels. So, let's see. All right, no interesting headlines for me so far. But I want to know, guys, what are you trading? How has your trading week been going? What are you looking to get into today? Tell me about you guys. I want to know. I want to know. All right, I'm just kind of scanning through right now, seeing are we getting any other news, because this has been a very headline driven market. Anytime we get any type of news, we react, and we react violently. I mean, look at this reaction here. We had another reaction here. So yeah, we have to be careful with those news highlights. And then as usual for my opening range breakout traders, we will put our pink box. I've decided that I'm always going to put this ORB box in pink. So far, our range has opened right here. Let me write it. We're gonna write ORB box right now. All right. So this is our ORB box, and we'll move it in relation to where the range is as this continues to develop. It might be a muted day today. We'll see. We will see. All right. Jeremy says, I caught 36 points long about an hour ago. So that's it for me today. Okay, nice. Very nice. Very nice. Respectable positions. You said 36 points. Was that on the Qs or on the S&P 500s? What were you trading? All right, we're seeing the level hold for now. Let's see on a 1 minute what that is looking like. So some wicks there. We've seen in some initial buyers were able to hold below this level here. So we want to see, will they be able to continue to hold and push higher, or will they give up these lows and let the index continue to fall? Now, if we fall further down, remember that, potential targets are this area right here, right under 24,000. So, maybe I would say about 180 to 200 points lower. So we'll see. Jeremy's saying you watches all three indices, but places trade only on Qs. Okay, that's very interesting. I am of the opinion that you should watch different indexes indeed, and decide based on that, based on the reaction of each one. But actually today I wanted to take a look at the Russell, because the Russell has been interesting to say the least. So Russell on futures would be RT Y. There you go. And then let's put it on a 5-minute. Okay, so Russell showing relative strength in comparison to the other indices. So you see how we got a nice reaction there. We formed that double, double bottom here, right? We did not sweep the lows. We actually had a higher low, and then we're pushing up higher, and we're near VWAP. So in terms of strength, the Russell looks stronger, which means the Russell is the small cap index, so it's showing more strength than the others. So that is definitely a good sign. We'll see how we react on the Qs. So we're getting a decent reaction here on the Qs. So we will see. All right, Butterkeeper saying I'm targeting 24,203 relative equal high if we go higher after this liquidity sweep. All right, nice. You said 24,203. So 24,203, which would be somewhere around here, just above VWAP. Okay, so about, let's see, 24,203. So about 100 points higher than where we are now. All right, very good. That is a definitely interesting level. It's aligns right up with 24,203 with those previous pre-market highs. So it's definitely a decent area where we could target. So we'll see what we get there. We will see what we get right now. As we have oil rising, I don't know if we have any US traders here, but the price at the pump has been steadily rising as well here. So I'm really interested to see what oil is going to do in the coming weeks based on this geopolitical situation, because I'm not a fan of my gas prices continuing to rise, but we'll see. All right, it looks like we are definitely looking to sweep these lows. Can buyers hold? We will see. Let's look at how the ES is reacting. So ES, we got out of this downtrend here. We are again slightly more bullish on the ES. You see how our low is higher than our previous low, so we're holding better on the ES than the Qs because we are much lower on the Qs. And then on the Russell, we are holding higher. So now we're gonna switch to not this. We're gonna go look at the market internals that I usually look at. So let's look at the VIX. Let me put it on a, I don't need my simple moving average. Let's get that out of the way. All right, VIX is at 27 right now, which means volatility is a little high. Let's look at the advanced decline indicator. So we are right now at 905. Okay, so kind of neutral right now. Let's look at the tick. Let me reset that. This is an hourly tick, by the way. Let me put it on 5-minute. Let's reset. Okay, so the tick is slightly green. Let's look at my vol ratio. Volume minus, all right. Let me reset this. Okay, and gold to silver is ticking down. All right, so nothing too convincing as of yet. We're kind of still muted, in my opinion, until we really decide to take off. But yeah, the Nasdaq is really showing weakness here, guys. We can see how we've, swept the lows. Is this going to be a liquidity sweep and we can revert back up? We will see. Still no go for me. Still no entries. Sellers are pushing it low. I would rather go long. I look for a reversal, but this might just run away from me. So we'll see what this does. But the Russell has been looking stronger. So looking good on the Russell so far. Let's look at gold. So we're still inside this box, still inside this range. Let's look at it on a tighter chart. This is the type of area where I do not want to touch the asset. I want to let it do what it does. We have those little ink rising wicks here. So 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9:40. So maybe we'll see 10 o'clock what we do. So we're slightly rising on on GC. Maybe we're gonna curl up, but so far nothing yet. Let's go back to the Nasdaq. All right, it looks like we swept this low. We're seeing a little bit of increased activity right now. Let me check. All right, so let's see how the Nasdaq reacts. Are we able to hold this level? Are we able to kind of push back up and go retest these opening highs and kind of pull back inside this level and continue up? Or will we not be able to do that? So right now our opening range has changed. We are right here because we do the first 15 minutes of the chart. That's what we consider to be our opening range. So let's see. We are right smack dab in the 50% of the range. So let's see if we can reconquer this and what will happen. All right, we're kind of waking up right now. We're seeing some volume increase. So looking good right there for possible reversals. Volume tells the story, guys. Volume definitely tells the story. So right now, yeah, point of control has shifted. Point of control is kind of down there at 24,098. So let's see if we can reconquer these lows and push higher. This is about a 72-point move off of the lows, so looking good so far. I will definitely need a pullback in order for me to enter long. So we'll see what happens there. Relative equal high. If we go higher after this liquidity sweep. All right. Hello, Daniel. How you doing? I was just talking about you and how you graced us with your webinar yesterday. I thought it was great. I've been looking at the indicator since yesterday. I haven't taken any trades based on it, but I think it is awesome. We have AJ Furious saying YM was really strong. All right, let's take a quick look. All right, we're really seeing the index waking up right now, so that's good. Buyers have been stepping up, so let's see what we can get here. Can we go and retest these levels here and then possibly find a pullback? All right, this was a nice nice entry there if you were able to catch the liquidity sweep. So Butterkeeper, I hope you got that entry. I know you said you were looking for that sweep and you wanted to enter at this sweep right there and target those 24,203s. So hopefully you got that because we got mighty close to that. So very good. Looking good right there. Yeah, we were going to look at the YM. Let's look at the YM real quick. Oh yeah, YM looking very clean, very strong. So that's the type of entry that would have suited us. Unfortunately, we were not looking at this particular asset. I'm sure the Russell is probably pretty strong. Indeed, it is definitely the Russell and the Dow are the strongest of the indexes right now. Let's look at the ES. ES is looking very clean as well. So, all right. So what we do now is we look for continuation or rejection, and we'll see if we can get an entry right there. So let's see if we can pull back and get a possible entry, or will we be unable to push higher, and will we continue further down? I'm being extremely patient. I am not taking any FOMO trades like I did a couple days ago. I just want to. It has to kind of like slap me in the face and say, "Hey, you need to enter here." So I'm not seeing that yet. And if it runs away from me, it runs away from me. All right, Butterkeeper's in. He's in and looking green right now. So good on you for that. And yes, Daniel, it's always a pleasure having you. I think everybody enjoyed that. And most definitely, I enjoyed getting my indicator. I was showing it off a few minutes ago. I'm actually, I was looking at the euro and I saw that we had this cleaned very clean trend here. I don't usually trade forex, but you're gonna have me trading other assets now. So I'm definitely gonna look. I have the indicator there. Let's pull it up on a 15-minute. I think, yeah, we had a decent short entry here, which almost hit the TP, which was great. And then I even looked at it on the Nasdaq, and look, it triggered this morning. It would have caught the short perfectly. So awesome indicator. You would have entered here, taken your profit here. So short would have been filled. So I think it's awesome. I'm gonna look deeper into it over the weekend, do some back testing, and maybe next week I'll kind of deploy and see what we can get into. All right, so let me run through the Mag 7. So we have Nvidia pushing down. We have Apple moving up a little bit, negative 11%. We have Tesla that is also negative 0.88%, but trying to reconquer. We have Microsoft pushing higher, which is probably helping the indices. We have Amazon pushing lower. We have Meta pushing lower. So, all right, kind of mixed here right now. So, what's carrying those indices is probably the let's see. Yeah, Apple and Microsoft helping those this move up that we're seeing on the indexes right now. So, all right, we're pulling back a little bit. This was a nice 124-point move. So, let's see if we can get a possible pullback. We're seeing a little bit of rejection here. So, patience is the word for me today. All right, we're seeing a little bit of rejection right under VWAP. So this could have been a possible, break and retest of this opening range, and we would see if we could possibly continue to move up and go retest these highs. If the asset is really strong, I'm gonna wait for the 10 o'clock candle to see how we open up on these hourlies. Definitely want to zoom out and take a look at where we stand. All right, so we tapped into this level here. This is the 4 hour. Let's put a clean chart here. 4 hour, we've kind of reconquered here. So maybe we've tapped into this lower, 2400 level that we were looking at. So longs are definitely so far looking as the way to go. If we zoom in on the hourly, we're definitely looking good right now. 15-minute. So definitely indicating that going long is the right way to go. So good on you, Butterkeeper, for catching this liquidity sweep here and, riding this wave. I hope you got your nice move up there. Yeah, probably 126 point move here. So we're definitely pushing higher. And yeah, this one's gonna run away from me. So no problem there. I'm being extra patient. I want to see how we react after 10 o'clock and then make my decision based on that. All right, guys, remember to like, remember to subscribe. Let me know how your day is going. Let's jump back to the Dow. Let me look. All right, we've touched our point of control here that we marked out pre-market. And let's see how we react to that. This, yeah, it's right under the previous day's consolidation level. We're pulling back right now, so I definitely want to see how we react to the 10 o'clock hourly candle before I make a decision. All right. By the way, for everybody who's trading futures, I suggest from time to time I was looking you have the CME website that's very insightful. They have this education section over here on the right. And for anybody who's a beginner, if you go to the education section, they have a trading simulator, they have research, and they have basic courses. Let me click in there. Education, courses and lessons. They have a bunch of, they have an hourly introduction to futures, comparing stock trading with futures, intro to options, et cetera, et cetera. I think, yeah, 76 courses or 719 lessons. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a lot of great information in there that you guys can find. So whenever you have the time, if you want to learn more about futures, get it from the horse's mouth, get it from the CME group, and that'll be good for you. All right, this has been a very nice up move there. So definitely great entry if you were able to catch this one. But I was being, again, extra extra patient. I didn't really see something that looked interesting to me this morning. So we'll see how we react and what we can get into. Let me zoom out. We're seeing some selling, which is totally normal. I said this would be an area of interest where we could possibly see a rejection. So maybe we could get a quick short before we get a pullback there. It's something we might look to get. So we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. We will definitely see. Scribble saying, you think market will trend again following the end of Q2 and the end of Q1 and start of Q2. Do I think market will trend again? Well, let's zoom out and and look. All right, let me go on trading view and zoom out, because we were talking about that yesterday, Steve and I. Where's the NQ? Let's look at the ES first. Let me zoom out. Let's go on a weekly chart so we can really see what the outlook is. All right. Let me turn on my moving average. So if we look at the ES, and that's where I'm going to give you my opinion. If you look at strictly, we're not looking at the political backdrop. We're not thinking about war and whatever. Right now, we're going to look at it as just technicals, and then we'll add the political backdrop. If I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking at this strictly on a technical, uh, I have a technical lens on, well, in my opinion, we can pull back much further, right? If we're just looking at technicals, in my opinion, you are still you see how we've been unable to pass, and I was talking about that yesterday with Steve. We've just been pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. Any attempt of a push up has been shut down. So we were held right under that $7,000 key level for the past, what was it, since October 2025. And then we continued every week, every month to push down. Then it was the 6,900, then it was the 6,800, then it was 6,700. Now it's 6,600. So, and if you just look at the formation of the candles, we're seeing wicks, 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 wicks. So this is selling. This is sustained, continued selling. So before we revert back to the upside, we would need some kind of huge news highlight that, hey, the war is over. You know, we're all kumbaya. We found a great agreement, and I'm adding that to the backdrop of the analysis. We would need great news, and then on a technical aspect, we need some kind of move down, flush down. Let's hit all the stops. Let's get everybody out. Let's at least touch these previous highs before we revert back up. And then if you look at the 200-day moving average, it is way down there, you see? And this is around February 2025, when we pushed down, February, March 2025. We went down and touched that 200-day moving average. So there is a long way to go. On a percentage basis, I mean, this is kind of worst scenario for me, but on a percentage basis, this would be a 13% pullback. 13% pullback, which is entirely possible. We were talking about that yesterday with Steve. So indices for me are going to continue to pull back for, I would say, the coming weeks or months before we see something significant happen. Remember also, we're going to get a new Fed chair. So, you know, what is this new Fed chair going to do? How is he going to behave? We are guessing, like I was saying yesterday, that he's probably going to be a yes man, but is he going to be good or bad for the markets? I don't know. I know I'm going to do more research on him, but I know he was there during '08. So I'm sure this has affected him, and his policies are going to be based on what he experienced back then. But there's definitely a possibility to see further downside, in my opinion. Of course, unless we hear some good news. Now, is it going to be a straight down move like that? No. We're probably going to have, as usual, some flushes, some pullbacks, and whatever. But the more uncertainty we have, the more the geopolitical backdrop continues to be uncertain, and the less cooperative the US is when it comes to relations with other countries, the more downside we're going to see. So I'm expecting further downside with some pullbacks, of course. But if you zoom out, I mean, that's what it looks like. Even if I put it on a daily, let me go and put it on the daily. If I put it on a daily, we are below the 200-day moving average. So again, and we haven't still, even that low wick there, we still haven't touched those initial highs. So even on a technical basis, we still have the possibility of further downside, at least for the few coming weeks or days. So we'll see what happens there. All right, it is 10 o'clock. I want to take a quick look at what we're doing. All right, we've seen some buying. This was a buying opportunity for me that I kind of missed there, but we'll see. All right, we got Harry Krishna there that says, hello in India. Our prime minister says we may face a situation like the corona crisis, like a lockdown. Wow, that's not interesting. No problem, Scribble. You're welcome. Silver and gold traveling in opposite direction. Something is fishy. Well, like Jane likes to say, one of them is lying. So who is lying? Is it gold? Is it silver? We're going to take a quick look at them in a few. Scribble saying, I see what you see. Yeah, you did not notice that. I think I may have started trading during a bit of a hard time environment in the markets. Before January, there were a bit clearer moves, but since it has been difficult. Sure, always a pleasure to share my insights. I think what you want to, at least the way I'm approaching the markets right now, is and that's why I was kind of, holding back to enter here. You're going to see a lot of consolidation and then erratic moves for the foreseeable future, because I think it's going to be, let's wait and see, let's wait and see, let's wait and see. And then boom, you get a news highlight, and then you get a huge move. And then you go back, consolidation, 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 and then boom, reaction. Whether it's to the upside or the downside, I think that's what we're going to see for the coming weeks or months. So we have to be careful. If you're swing trading, keep your position sizing small. I've been trading extremely small lately. Um, so yeah, I think that's what we're going to see for the foreseeable future. So let's see. We got a little reaction there. We got a break and retest. So I'm gonna try a short right now. We'll see. This is probably going to be a quick one, a 1-to-1 maybe, before we move back up. And I might be wrong, because this is pretty strong, so I probably shouldn't be shorting. Sorry. But I want to see a deeper pullback. And then if we get stopped out, no problem. We will try a second entry. I just want to see further move down before I enter long. Let me look at the hourly. Yeah, this is sorry, the 15. Yeah, this is pretty strong. I probably shouldn't be fighting the trend. So I'm not gonna hold this for too long. If we can't get a quick second move, because I think this level might be retested. If we can't get that, then I'll flip my bias long again. So we'll see. Yeah. So let's address that comment from Harry Krishna. Harry Krishna, silver and gold travel in opposite direction. So let's look at silver and gold really quick while this trade is developing. We have gold right here. And I have a 200-day moving average. You see how we touch this here? So this is a pretty interesting level on a daily basis. Gold might have to retest these levels again before further upside, and we might continue moving further down and maybe consolidate in this area before we revert back up. So we have on the daily gold pushing lower, and silver, well, I see them moving kind of similar direction, honestly. We had more buying in silver the past couple of days in relation to gold, but I see them, sorry, kind of moving in a similar fashion. Let's say that maybe gold was the weaker of the two, but they're kind of moving in a similar fashion in my opinion. What are you saying, Harry Krishna? Are you saying am I seeing what you're seeing? All right, let's go back. All right, trade is working. Oh man, we retested. Let's see. Yeah, the buyers are going to probably step in a bit. So not a trade I want to hold for too long. because we're probably going to continue to the upside. And I'm going to show you how to use the invert button in a few. So I want to go long. Yesterday, I was talking about how sometimes when I want to go long, I'll enter a short first. And if that short gets invalidated, I'll invert long. So if I invert long, my stop is going to go right below this level here. And if we start to take out these highs, then I'll just invert, and that'll be my second trade for the day. So let's wait and see what happens. I was kind of looking for a deeper pullback, but VWAP was probably the place where one should have entered. So, all right, my long is getting, I mean, my short is getting invalidated. So no problem. Strong opinions held loosely. All right, this is where we invert. Oh shoot, I added by accident here. I think I'm gonna have to set my how do you call that? I'm gonna have to set my oh man, set my keyboard to take these entries and exits because I've been hitting the wrong buttons from time to time. All right, guys, let me just take a look at this trade here. I want to see what I'm gonna do with it because I'm seeing sustained buying. We had some selling come in here. I just want to see if they're being honest with it or not. And I probably want to have two time frames right next to each other. Let me put this like here, and let's add this here. All right, we're still seeing some selling happening here. So let's see how these sellers react. All right, we're seeing the selling I want to see. So do we continue lower or not? So I'm gonna manage my risk here. I always talk to you guys about the bonus and um, the payroll. So since I have two contracts here, I'm gonna take one contract out, and then I will hold the other one to see what happens. All right, we're seeing buyers come in. 1R would be around here. So let's see if we can get 1R on that trade and then hold the second one. And we'll gradually manage our risk. So sustained buying here. Let me look at my other platform just so I could look at the order flow better. So buyers stepping in, kind of trying to hold it up, and we would probably revert back to the upside if they are able to hold it up. We'll see if it's true buying or if it's fake buying. Now, this was my area of interest for a short. This is why I entered my short. 1R of risk right there. So 50 points, it would be 50 points for the first trade, so 1R. And then we would hold the rest and see where they take it. And if they're unable to push it further down, then the long would be confirmed, and this would not be a fake out. So let's see if we can get it, and we'll let this happen. All right, let me take a quick look at the comments right now. We have prop firm Unique saying My account below because of your MT5 server. Okay, I guess you're talking about the Forex side because here we trade futures and we use Black Arrow. So you're probably talking about the Forex side. And I am unaware of anything going on with MT5, my guy. Sorry about that. All right, we are near our target. Let's see if we can get it. Man, look at how, how I hate when that happens, when it gets so close to your TP and then it doesn't work out. So let's see if we can get it. We'll let it happen. Make this bigger. I want to kind of control my risk right now because buyers might be stepping in. Come on, platform, cooperate. All right. So let's control this right here. Control this right here. And we'll invert the trade in a bit. Buyers seem to be stepping in, but we'll see if it's true buying or if it's just people covering their positions. So let's see what happens there, guys. Krishna saying happens to everyone too close. Yeah, it does. But I honestly want to go long. I entered the short just to confirm whether or not I should go long. It's just an added check in my favor because if the short doesn't continue, then that means that it's a check in my favor for the follow through to happen. So we'll wait. I want to see how we react to these levels over there. We saw some buying. We're still over VWAP. So anything is possible. But if I treat this like the opening range, if we look at the levels, we kind of reached the 50% here, and then we weren't able to really push higher. So maybe we need to get a deeper pullback before we continue higher, but maybe not. So if we're not able to push further down, then I should go long. All right. I think it's almost time for me to go long because we're not able to push further down. So that's what we'll do. Our long is in. And now let's see if we reconquer these highs. Sorry. Low here. And then aiming for that point of control. All right, we'll determine where we get out in a few. Let's just zoom out a little bit. All right, the stop is where I want it to be. And now let's see if we can get further upside. Whoa. Unfortunately, my I was building the position. I could not get that initial profit here, which would have been some cushion for the longs, allowing me to add more to the position. But that's not the case. So we're getting a retest of this area. Let's see if we can kind of break through and get follow through there. So we'll see. 15-minute just opened. So let's see if buyers can get aggressive and if we will be able to target that initial cluster up there. So we'll see what happens. So I have scribbles saying silver is a lot more volatile, takes highs and lows that gold may not. I notice on the lower time frames. Yes, silver is very volatile. It's you know, as a scalper, it's very challenging for me to day trade silver. So not something I've been able to day trade. It's very volatile, and you know if you guys trade any crypto, all right, we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna do a we're gonna put a limit order here for one contract. Actually, let me close this. So I'm gonna remove my bracket, and then I'll put one order here for one contract, and let's determine where to exit. All right, that's about 1R right here. All right, we're seeing further selling. I want us to really reconquer those highs decisively now. I don't want us to hesitate too much, because if we hesitate too much, then the long is invalidated, and we're gonna we're gonna retest lower. So I want this to kind of move. I don't want it to hover too much around here, because what might be forming is a second. Sorry, let me get this out of the way. Let me just put this layout this way, it'll be clearer. What might be forming if we're not able to just push up to these highs and push faster. We formed a first low here, we formed a higher low. We can pull back all the way to here and then continue higher. That's totally fine. But what would be better for the more bullish tone is if we can not spend a lot of time here. I would say maybe 5 minutes tops, and then really blast through this liquidity level here and go push higher and go to those 250s. So we'll see if we can do that, because if we are unable to do that, and on the contrary, we pull back and go form a lower low, then it's entirely possible to get further downside and go retest these lows. So we'll see. We'll see how heavy the tape is here. Are we really able to reconquer the highs? And yeah. So these days, it's better not to hold trades for too long, at least if you're day trading, because we can get any type of reaction. So we'll see. So far, we are hovering and hesitating. What you want is, after that initial 5 minute candle, you want the second one to follow through and to be at least the same size, if not bigger than this one. So about a minute to go on that one. We'll see how it goes. So the other possibility is we went up, we pulled back, and maybe we have to go retest lower before we continue to push up. So we'll see if that happens. Scribble is saying, I think short squeeze is likely. Well, we'll see. Right now, it's not looking very likely, because we should have blasted through these levels kind of faster. We're hesitating too much in this area right here. The tape is really heavy. So they are definitely selling here. Maybe I got out of my short too early, but tape is not looking pretty right now. So are we able to hold this pocket here? Are we able to stay above VWAP? That's what we're going to find out. If not, well, we'll get stopped out. But ideally, we want to see the buyers step in quickly right now. Well, you did it, Scribble. You talked, and then they heard you, and then they were like, "Nope, we're going to sell." So my real stop should be down there, but that's just risking too much. I would rather just stay here, because if it's bullish, it's just gonna revert back up and it's gonna blast through really quick. If it's not, it's just gonna move down and continue lower. It should not violate this level if we're really bullish. I mean, buyers should be eager to step in right away. Let's take a quick look at the other assets. Let's look at the Russell. All right, so Russell looking a little heavy. Let's look at the YM. All right. So we're rotating on these ones. Let's look at the ES. All right. ES looking a little heavy as well. So yeah, maybe my short entry was the correct one and I exited prematurely. So we'll see. The idea though is that the Nasdaq was the weaker of the other ones this morning. So if one is gonna, be the laggard and push up at the last minute, it's probably gonna be the Nasdaq. So we'll see what we do there. Uh, Scribble saying anticipation is dangerous in trading. Definitely, anticipation is dangerous. But sometimes you do all the right things and you still lose. So it is what it is. That one was painful though. It was painful to have my my level there and then have it come right here and not be able to take the profit. Because right now I would be, risking half an R instead of a 1 hour and a half. But it is what it is. It's fine. All right, we got Trade with Sakib in the house. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right, we're seeing what I want to see. So now we really want to see this push higher, and we want to see it push higher fast, right? We want to see it push higher. We want to see it blast through this initial resistance level where we saw buyers, right? And then we're just going to look at the opening range and then calculate, okay, what is the measured move? All right, yeah, definitely heavy selling there. We definitely have, you saw I put this level this morning, this yellow level, as a level of interest. And man, they're just selling right where I expected them to sell, and they're not pushing higher. They're not cooperating. They're not squeezing it yet, at least. But we're gonna be patient. We're gonna see what what reaction we can get if we can really reconquer these, and then if we can really push higher. So we'll see what we get. And then we have two take profits. One is fixed, so around 1R here. And then the other one is fluid. The other one depends on how we move. So what I usually do, I'll take my first profit either at 1R, 1R and a half, or 2R. And then if I have another contract or more, then the other ones will be more fluid. So let's see what we can do here. Trade with Sakib saying, yeah, Scribble, it is what it is. It sucks when you're in profit, not in profit, in profit, not in profit. But that's where patience sometimes pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. So if it does, great. If it doesn't, well, we did what we were supposed to do. Trade with Sakib saying making some sort of liquidation at opening range breakout. Yeah, I think we're kind of catching liquidity up there, and we're kind of forming this consolidation here. So if I just because I have a bunch of lines here, I'm going to do it on this other chart. We're kind of forming this. So we had this move up, we pulled back while we were looking. So we had this there, we had the rejection, we shorted. We were looking for, maybe a sell further down, take profit here, anticipating this reversal and then continuation further down. But right now we're moving sideways, right? So what we want to see is, okay, this pattern we're forming right now. Let's look at the pattern. So this pattern here and here, kind of this triangular pattern. Right now, we're at the 60% line. So what will often happen if we are not able to push up immediately, reconquer this, pull back and do that, if we're not able to do that and we're not able to do it fast, what will usually happen is we'll maybe push up, fail, we'll retest, we'll move lower, and then we'll get the trend. Or if we're bullish, we'll retest and then we'll just continue further down. um, we'll see. So we can put different scenarios here. I'm going to put them in different colors, but so we look at the price. So like I was saying, what we want to see is maybe a slight move there. We want to break up there, maybe retest and then move higher. So that would be scenario one. That's the most bullish one. So we'll put this one in blue. Scenario two would be, okay, what I see often is, okay, we're at 60% of this. We're not able to there. We'll hesitate a little bit there. We'll break there. We'll maybe retest and then we'll continue further down, right? That's scenario number two. That would be, I'll put it in orange. And then the scenario that's kind of annoying and that I've seen multiple times is you kind of get a move there. It will finish the range. It'll break lower and then it'll, reconquer whatever liquidity was there or there. And then we'll push higher, right? And this I can put in, I don't know, purple. So yeah, so multiple scenarios here. We'll see what happens, but we're definitely heavy on the tape up there, and we're not able to push higher. So the short is probably what would have made sense. We're in a range, which is very annoying indeed, and we bought the top of the range, so it is what it is. Um, all right, you're saying you didn't get a satisfactory answer for the country ban on Pakistan. All right, so here's the issue with Pakistan. It is a black arrow issue for now. I think I kind of replied to you directly, and I think Daniel kind of replied directly. The issue now is that there is a ban on Pakistan, unfortunately, on the black arrow side. Now, there has been internal communication, and this is kind of developing. But if Black Arrow, for whatever reason, their administration decided to put a ban on, we cannot, continue. Unfortunately, you're unable to trade with Black Arrow for now. So it's kind of, external forces acting right now. I would love to tell you this situation is going to be resolved in whatever X amount of days, but for now, I don't have the answer. So all I can tell you is, for now, there is a ban on Black Arrow because of whatever security reasons they determine on the country of Pakistan. All right, and we're getting the scenario where we get stopped out. So most likely our short idea was the better one. Because we didn't get that follow through, and we're gonna see kind of one of these scenarios most likely play out. You're saying, is there any chance in the near future for an unban? Well, you know how these situations evolved. Definitely, there is a chance for the unban. The problem is we don't know. We don't have a timeline. That's the problem. I wish I could tell you, hey, within a month you'll be fine and good to go, but that's not the case. So I don't know. That is really what I can tell you. I don't know when that situation will get resolved. I can definitely keep you up to date since I have you on Discord and let you know. But for now, I unfortunately don't have an answer. All right, so sideways consolidation. We'll see where this goes, but we're not looking very bullish, and we're not looking very bearish either. We're kind of this sideways consolidation action. So we'll see if we can get a shift and a further move up. But this might be what I talked about, a break and retest. And I'm not touching the trade because you guys know I only take 2 trades a day live on the stream. So I took my first trade short. I didn't get my TP taken, and I told you, okay, if the short doesn't work out, I'll reverse long. And reverse long, and the long is not cooperating either. So if we're going to consolidate the whole day, I don't want to be entering and exiting and being wrong. So that's when you kind of, sit on your hands and let the market do what it's going to do. Tradewitz keeps saying bad luck. Yeah, it's bad luck. I think it sucks. If it were for me, because these things are, and they're not even the fault of the companies. I mean, they're not companies like the Fivers and Black Arrow and whatever. We want everybody to trade. I mean, we are not, we don't discriminate. We want everybody to be able to trade freely and let the market decide if you're going to win or not. The problem is there's always external forces, political forces acting, and there are huge things in the background where you have to comply with the government, you have to comply with rules, and it's kind of out of our hands sometimes. So yeah, it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I know there are a lot of countries that get banned for various reasons. It's more political than anything, and it has nothing to do with the companies. It's nothing to do with the Fivers or Black Arrow. It's just that there are rules, and we have to comply with the rules. That's it. Travis keeps saying you're going long on the Dow Jones on US 30. Let's look. Let's look at the Dow because the tape is looking heavy, man. This was a great break and retest trade. I mean, right now I would be going short. I want to reverse this trade and go short, but I don't want to break my rules. So you know, I maybe it was further down, but the idea here was what I was talking about. See, if I move this, you have the break, the retest, and then continued further downside. That's what might happen. We'll see. So trade with keep saying you're long on Dow. So let's look at the Dow. Where's the Dow? Where's the Dow? Long on Dow. I guess you're looking for a breakout. So we'll see. Can we break out of this consolidation right here? So if I kind of trace, it's a weird pattern. It's not very clear. Let me zoom out. So yeah, this looked like kind of a pullback, but it's getting sold. So if we can't get, quick follow through, then I don't know. We'll see. I really want you to win, so I hope we get follow through on this. We'll see. The Dow has definitely been stronger than the Nasdaq, and the Russell also has been strong. So let's see if we can get further continuation. The Dow definitely looking spicier and better than all of them. So that's a cleaner setup than the one here. And then let's look at the ES. ES is looking okay. So maybe we get for a further push higher. Let's look at the Qs. Yeah, the Qs are weak. They're lagging. So we'll see. Qs are not looking great as of yet, but that could change at any moment. And since we entered the laggard, if it's going to be bullish and if it's going to continue higher, then the laggard, the last one to go, will follow through better than the other ones. So money will rotate out of the Dow and etc. into this. So we'll see. But so far, out of the four we've been looking at, the Qs have not been looking pretty. All right. So I have Scribbles saying, I hear Donald Trump may be insider manipulating the market. Is this fear mongering rumor or is it potentially true? Insider manipulating the market. I guess you're talking about, I know what you're talking about. I'm going to zoom out and look at, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about, I think. So we had, where was it? right here. So I was trading before this candle. I caught part of it, fortunately, but this happened right here before the 705 candle. We had a move up there, and this looked massive at the time. I remember because it was like what was it? Yeah, 100-point candle, and then we saw increase in volume. If you compare the volume here, and they said somebody bought equities and then sold oil. If you look at oil, the oil had the same move there. Now, is this true or not? Well, we will never know. Now, what I can tell you is somebody always knows what's going to happen. So somebody probably made this. Now, to manipulate markets, especially the futures markets, you need a lot of money. I mean, this is to move these markets, you need a lot. Of course, it might be easier in the pre-market, but um, when it comes to the futures market, is Donald Trump manipulating? I don't know. He's definitely has had a hand in crypto because he had his crypto coin thing, his Trump coin. All right, we got stopped out, guys. He had his Trump coin thing, so crypto probably, but when it comes to other markets, equities, futures, etc., I don't know. So we'll see. It said this would go against my belief that news doesn't move the market, customers do with orders. Well, let me tell you something. News definitely moves the markets because what happens is you have us retail traders, right now with a prop firm, we're not moving the needle. Now, if you're trading on a brokerage account and you have multiple retail traders taking the same type of trades on a retail account, brokerage account, of course, and you're trading in the actual market, yeah, you're moving the needle very slightly, but not you yourself, just a swath of retail traders. But you have big institutions running algorithms, and these algorithms react to the news. So, when you have a news highlight, these algos react instantly. And that's when you get the type of moves like this. Where was it? These huge, straight up candles. Wait, why do I have a sell order? Let me get that sell order out of here. Always make sure you close all your orders, guys, so they don't get triggered instantly. Yeah. So let's see. Let's see if this is going to be the purple scenario where buyers actually step in right now and then we get further upside. Let's see if that's what's going to happen. Um but yeah, is he manipulating the markets? I don't. I mean, markets are definitely manipulated. Don't kid yourself. I mean, you have what's his name? I forget his name right now, but he's a hedge fund guy. And right before COVID, he was going all around the news saying, "Oh my God, panic, sell everything, get out, whatever, whatever." And then we found out months after that he was short the market. Made two. Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is his name. Bill Ackman was short the market right before COVID, right before the crash. He had, I won't say it insider information, but he had information and he was short the markets, telling, making everybody panic. And he shorted and made $2 billion off of that short. So, yeah, these guys are manipulating the market. Is Trump doing it himself per se? Probably not. He's done his little Trump coin thing, but it is what it is. But the markets are manipulated. Don't kid yourself. All right. You see, it's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. We faked out, we got everybody out, and now we're going to push higher. So this is the purple. You see how I have the purple line there? Maybe it happened a little bit faster than I thought, but the purple line is exactly what I was thinking about. Scribble saying, do future accounts scale as well as CFDs? Yes, futures accounts definitely scale. You can go all the way up to $500,000, and the Fivers is the only prop firm to do that. So, all right, this looks like news. So I'm gonna see, do we have some kind of news highlight there? I saw he may be telling his friends about certain events before he announces it. So we'll see. Maybe a lucky bet. 350 million on oil short. Indeed, they're very sneaky. Yeah, search for Bill Ackman. My trade plan was right. That's unfortunate. Well, yeah, but they're proving me wrong. You see how, so this is a day where I don't want to be in the market. So you had the right setup this morning. So you had the liquidity sweep this morning, entered here and exited at those 203s. And then that was the trade that makes sense. Now, I caught the little short there. Unfortunately, the take profit didn't get triggered. But right now, this mess, I don't want to be in, because you see how we're starting to move up and then we're getting rejected. So heavy selling there, but we're not able to follow through to the downside. We're entering here. So yeah, this is a day where I don't want to be touching this. So we're not probably not getting that purple scenario. We're probably getting that orange scenario today. So we'll see. So blue scenario definitely not happening. We're out of that. So we're either getting we got purple, but are we going to continue up? Probably not. So we'll see. But I don't want to be touching this right now. I mean, this is messy price action. If I zoom out, even on a 5 minute, it is definitely not looking clean. Let me look at the other assets. Let's look at the ES. ES slightly better, but not super clean. This is pretty significant volume, so I want to see if there's news going on. Let's see. There we go. Trump says anybody would know Iran is talking to us, says Iran is begging to work out a deal, says don't know if willing to work out a deal with Iran. There you go. Trump just tweeted. Trump just tweeted. He just said whatever he said, and now he's messing up the markets for all of us. So yeah, this is a day where you don't want to be touching the market. At least you want to wait. Maybe we'll have better, cleaner setups in the afternoon. But right now, so far, I kept my risk under control. Only a 1 hour loss, so nothing to cry about. We're good, and we're moving down to the downside. Right? We had the short. So the first idea was the right idea to go short right under that level. Unfortunately, that did not work out, and yeah, it is what it is. He said stopped out after 8 consecutive wins on opening range breakout. Man, that's a tough one. Yeah, there you go. That's the guy. That's the man. So sometimes his tweets are helpful, but very often they're not. Well, there you go, guys. There you go. That's that orange scenario I was talking to you about. We're moving down. Whoa, I deleted it by accident. Yeah, orange scenario. So we get that push down. I could even put it there. You see? I could put the orange scenario right there. You see? I said moves, and then we'll get a push up, and it'll be a fake out. We retest it, and then we move down. Now, did I think that we were going to get this huge wick, this huge candle? Definitely not. I could not have predicted that Trump was going to tweet or say whatever he said, but we're getting that orange scenario. And yeah, Scribble, you're wondering if markets are manipulated? Well, there you go. All right, Stuart, have a great weekend. Good trading to you too. I'll catch you on Monday. I hope you were able to catch something. But today's a tricky one. Tricky day today. So now we're gonna see what happens at this pocket right now. Can we hold this level? Because anything is possible, guys. Anything is possible. Well, we got out. Let me refresh. So let's see what gold did. All right, so gold got out of this sideways action here, but gold is still pushing up, pushing up higher, but not in a decisive manner. So we consolidated for what? We consolidated for 45 minutes. We spent 45 minutes here where basically nothing was happening. We got the Trump tweet and then we moved down. Let me see how oil reacted to that. Where's oil? CL. Yeah, muted. There we go. Oil's pushing back up. And so what Trump is saying, the comments he's making, um, I think, like I was talking about to Steve yesterday, these comments are showing, at least to me, they're showing weakness in the US camp, right? The fact that, we're talking about Iran, we're kind of backing out of the war, et cetera, et cetera. It's showing weakness. And I think we're seeing this weakness because of the economic impact this war has had on the US. How hard world assets like gold have just trickled down and they're usually safe havens. How overall the stock market has been trickling down. I think that this is I think these guys underestimated the effect the war on Iran would have. So we'll see. You're saying Harris Christian saying I think so. So not aggressive as before. Okay, I didn't quite get that last comment. Oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, you're saying a lot of countries are facing the energy crisis. Yeah, I mean the here's the who was talking about that the other day. You have 20% of oil reserves, I mean oil, general world oil traveling through the strait, right? So you're basically getting 20% less of what you're used to. Every country is facing the crisis. Now, some countries are going to be able to react better than others. Actually, you know what? Trump is talking right now. Maybe I should pull it up. Trump is talking right now. That's why we're getting this reaction. Let me see if I can find. I really want to hear what he's talking about. Give me 1 second, guys. Yeah, he's talking. Um, Let me see if I can find that. Give me 1 second. So Trump is talking and the markets are reacting. So after he's done talking, we're probably going to get a pretty big reaction. So he's holding a cabinet meeting right now. There you go. The man is talking. Yeah, he's saying they can't do anything. He can't do anything about Iran can't do anything about the US. We have the best jets, we have the best anything. Yeah, he's just rambling. He's just rambling, and that's why the markets are reacting. Anyways, I'm not going to keep this on. But yeah, we're seeing a nice reaction here off of this little pocket. So depending on what he says, we might get a reversion back to the upside. But yeah, today is kind of at this point. This if you got your win early today, like Scribble, good on you. If you got your trade in this morning, I think was it Jeremy? Jeremy's got his trade this morning. He got his profit. So good on you. But right now, this is not looking like a good environment for me at least to trade. Maybe one could have shorted here. It looked cleaner on the YM. But I know I can't remember who was going long there. But yeah, this wasn't a great follow through there. And after this significant move, maybe a deeper pullback would have been necessary. We'll see how we react here around VWAP. Maybe you could get a reversal there, but not 100% sure. So the rest of the day right now is going to be a no trade day for me. You know, sit on your hands, and maybe this afternoon after 2 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll look for other setups. But for now, we're still moving to the downside. News is negative. We have reverted back to the opening, the ORB box that we have here. So, yep. Oh, Scribble saying you have no wins today. Just watching. Oh, all right. I thought you had caught that long there. I thought you got in there and got out there at those 203s. But it's fine. Oh, nice. More success during the Asian session. Man, I've never been able to trade the Asian session very successfully. The only times that it's worked out for me is when I just find a setup, enter the trade, and then let it ride until the next day. Asia has always been a tricky one for me. So yeah. You see, very. If I zoom out, this is classic fake out. So you have your trend, you break out of the trend, it's a fake out, and then we revert back. And you see, it's funny how well we reacted to these levels. And unfortunately, I wasn't super confident in my short because of how this could have looked like. So on a good day, without Mr. Mr. President speaking, on a good day, you know, you had the pullback, you had the W bottom, you broke out. On a good day, this would have tested this pullback, and we would have continued higher, maybe tested this and then pull back again and tested this. We could have gotten in a nice, you know, 300-point day out of this setup on a good day, on a regular day without any weird news. But on a day like today, we see the index try to push higher and there's no follow through, right? So today is kind of a no trade day for me. We'll see how we react to those lows. Depending on what he says, we might get a sweep, but we might just continue further down. You see, yep, we're dropping like a rock. What is he saying? Yeah, we're flushing down, guys. We're flushing down. Not the best trading environment for today, unless you were short, of course. So yeah, it is what it is, guys. Well, remember, we're 5 minutes into the session. I mean, we have 5 minutes left on the live trading session. Today is going to be my first red day, I think, or second. But um let me know if you have any questions, any additional questions. I wish you a successful rest of the week. I wish you a great trading day. Remember to like, remember to subscribe because we do this for you. I enjoy doing this for you guys. And I also enjoy having you participate in the comments. So let's see how we're going to end this right now. But so far, we're looking mighty bearish. So in all the scenarios we had, all the three scenarios we had scenario orange fulfill itself. So scenario 3. Scribble saying your trades were valid, just bad environment. Yeah, it is what it is. That's why I'm not gonna fight the market. It is totally fine. We took a 1R loss. I'm a little annoyed that this one didn't work because we were a tick from my take profit. That one was annoying. When I shorted here, we got a tick from my TP and then it didn't take me out. But I was hoping that on this candle we could wig down and revert, but whatever. But it's fine, guys. Losing is part of trading. And as long as you keep your risk under control, which we did, it is entirely fine. So no problem at all there with the loss. We'll come back next week and continue to look for those gains. I appreciate it. That's why we're here. We're here to show you disciplined trading. We're here to show you what is the right thing to do. Now, I'll make mistakes. The other day I FOMO'd in, but I'll make mistakes from time to time, but it's part of it. That's what I like about trading is that it's continuous learning. You're always learning something new, and most of all, you're always learning something new about yourself. And if you pay attention, if you do your reviews, if you kind of journal, you are gonna find your patterns, and you're gonna see that sometimes those patterns trickle to your actual life. The patterns you have in real life, you will see them reflected in your trading. So trading is really a reflection of yourself. Once you kind of understand price action, you understand how things move around. You'll have days like today where things are not really cooperating with you. But over the long term, your trading results are a reflection of yourself. So, for example, if you're a very impulsive person, well, you'll see it in your trading. If you're somebody who's extremely patient, and that can be good and bad in trading. Sometimes too much patience is not good. You're going to see it in your trading. If you're risk averse, like you're afraid to take risks, you're going to see it. If you're not risk averse, for example, which that's kind of my personality, I'm not afraid to take risks. Even though I've slowed down lately, you'll see it in your trading. So yeah, at the beginning, I would see huge swings in my trading because I was not afraid to take risks. So I would have huge days and then huge losses after, and then huge wins and then huge losses. But of course, the trend would be going down. But anyways, guys, it is what it is. We are there for you. Harish Krishna saying, take care. Happy weekend. Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to have you here. You have a great weekend too. Scribble, thank you so much. A good way, if I can give you some last words of advice on being impulsive, because over trading was a huge issue for me and it comes back from time to time, is to have clear rules for your setup and, maybe reduce the amount of trades you take per day, and that should help. So taking only 2 trades on the live is very easy. I know, okay, I took 2 and I'm done. So that'll help you. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week in the markets. Take care, guys.